Hey, welcome to Sullivan Smart Sense. I'm Heather Sullivan. Thanks so much for being with us today. We're going to have a really fun conversation today that's going to help you save a lot of money because we're going to talk about store reward and loyalty programs, hotels, restaurants, stores, everything. We're going to talk about what are the best ones that you should be looking at and how to really choose them because there are so many out there. And if you're like me, you probably really love some and you probably really hate some. They all work a little different, but we have a great expert who's been diving into this. So join me in welcoming Julie Ramhold from DealNews. Thanks so much for being with us, Julie. I can't wait to dive into this.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting topic to talk about.
Yeah, especially right now, everybody's, looking for ways to save. So first, just tell me a little bit about, you have this great article and people, I want to tell you, go ahead and go to dealnews.com to take a look at this because you've broken down by different categories, all these different, I mean, there's a lot of different reward programs and everything you need to know, which makes it so helpful.
Yeah, we kind of took a hard look at some programs and we found 58 of the ones that really seemed worth mentioning because they're gonna appeal to someone and they're worth checking out for a lot of people. So obviously not all of them are going to be hits for everybody, but they are definitely worth checking out to see if you can learn a little something new and potentially be earning rewards with every purchase.
And what would be your advice to someone in terms of how to go about selecting them? I mean, should you basically start with where you are going to shop, or in some cases, will it kind of help you decide maybe where you should be shopping?
I hadn't really thought about it, but if you're on the fence with two stores or more stores, it's absolutely worth checking to see how their reward programs stack up. If one is free to join and the other one isn't, that might tip it in, one side's favor. But at the same time, it really does kind of come down to how you feel about potential stores and how much hassle the programs are going to be.
Yeah.
So, if they are free to join, I say it's usually worth it to sign up, even if you don't shop there a ton. But beyond that, it's really important to know sort of where the rewards start to come in. Is it going to be easy to earn rewards? Is it going to be easy to redeem rewards? That kind of thing. And also, a lot of places are leaning into sort of these tiered programs now.
Hmm.
And that involves either earning a certain number of points to advance to the next tier or spending a certain amount of money to get to the next tier. And either way, you're going to be shelling out more cash. So it's really important to kind of weigh those separate tiers too to see if the basic one is good enough.
Hmm.
Or if you're always going to be trying to get to the next tier, that's just going to encourage you to spend more money and it might not be worth it in the long run.
Yeah, and I think that you made a great point in your article that talks about the whole idea for the creator of the loyalty programs is to keep you focused on shopping with them, spending your dollars with them, and it can prevent you from shopping around and maybe finding a lower price. And that's why choosing the right program is so important.
Absolutely. And even if you do choose a particular program to begin with, it's worth looking at the competitors every now and then to see if they've kind of stepped ahead, if they've stepped up their game, made some changes, maybe they implemented a rewards program where they didn't have one before. And just because you're a member of one doesn't mean you can't join the competitors and just choose to shop at whichever one makes sense. I remember, back in the day with the little loyalty cards that you had to put on your keychain.
Yeah.
It was a lot to deal with, and you'd always have to like thumb through them to figure out which one you needed when you were shopping. It's gotten a lot easier since then.
Yeah.
Basically, nowadays you create an account online and you save offers, or it tracks your spending that way so that you earn points automatically. So I'm a little more on board now with signing up to a whole bunch of different rewards programs since I don't have to worry about having a key ring full of all those little plastic tags.
Yeah, yeah, that was the thing. It was getting out of control.
Yep.
I've had friends who had wallets that were like packed like this, and the leather was stretched. And I'm like, how often do you even use those? And they're like, well, you never know. I might be in that store.
Yep.
Well, let's first, I want to invite our viewers, for everyone watching, put in the comments, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, put in the comments your favorite loyalty program, one that you really like, so we can talk about it a little bit more. But Julie, let's you've broken them down by different categories, and I was really fascinated to see some of the ones that you thought were really great. And so I want to first ask you, because we're already seeing gas prices climb, what you found in terms of some of the better gas reward programs.
Yeah, so in the last few years, it's been kind of a surprise how we've seen things like cashback apps start working for gas purchases. So there are things like Checkout 51 and Upside, which are both really great for getting gas back. But some people may not be aware that some of these gas chains are actually offering their own rewards programs now. So I was really surprised to find that you can earn rewards at places like Chevron and Texaco and Shell. These are all like big gas stations that generally, if you're worried about quality, some people say gas is gas, it doesn't matter. Other people say, there's something about Chevron or Texaco that's just better than going to like the sort of generic gas station. So, the fact that these programs are available now are really great. And they do offer things like, you know, 5 cents back on every gallon of gas at the pump or something like that. And sometimes the rewards are even bigger if you have a specific credit card, or if you apply for a specific credit card that's kind of connected to the rewards program. And obviously, it's not just gas stations doing this. There are plenty of retailers that really lean into that credit card to provide bonus perks. So don't assume you'll always have to do that, but definitely kind of weigh the options when you're looking at these gas stations to see like, oh, maybe it is worth getting the Chevron MasterCard or whatever, just to get like that little bit of extra savings, especially if you drive a lot. And with summer coming up, these are definitely programs that you may want to look into joining because there's going to be a lot of road trips happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Now is the time to look at these, and people can stack the savings too if they're really creative about it. But that's a whole topic for another show. Let's talk about other travel related things, because this is also a biggie, especially as we're going into the summer.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, with the travel industry kind of finally starting to bounce back after the pandemic, a lot of people are looking into how to make sure they can save on things like hotel rates and flights and all of that. I would say that most airlines are going to have a rewards program of some sort. So you're probably going to be better off picking an airline you really like and joining that particular program to make sure that you earn the miles or whatever for all your trips. But aside from that, if you stay at hotel chains like Hampton Inn or Best Western or something like that, if that's kind of your go-to, then definitely sign up for the rewards there, because you earn things like free nights and bonus breakfasts and stuff like that, like all kinds of perks that I just wouldn't think about. So if you tend to stay at the same chain, it's a really good idea to check and see if they have the same kind of rewards program so you can earn these perks. And then aside from that, there are general travel rewards programs. Expedia is getting ready to overhaul its program right now. So it sort of had this one in place that's a general sort of, earn points on different travel and then redeem them for a free night or another perk or something like that if you reach the higher tiers. And then supposedly around the middle of this year, they're going to be shifting over to their One Key program. And the cool thing about this is that it's actually going to let you earn rewards for like your bookings through Expedia and stuff like that, but also for like Verbo bookings. So if you're staying in those kind of like those situations, whether they're like house shares or whatever you want to call them, then you can get some bonus points that way too. So it's refreshing to see that some of the rewards programs, especially for travel, are getting a little more potentially generous. You still got to
Yeah.
travel, you still got to spend the money, but it might be more worth it now than it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we're getting a couple of, and again, I want to invite our viewers. Let us know what loyalty reward programs you really like. BK Chastain says Hilton Honors, and I agree. I have Hilton Honors. I like them, but I like also that you mentioned on your list the Hyatt program, Julie. So I was thinking I should probably check that one out too. And then we also just got a note from Tony who loved Bed Bath and Beyond, which of course is the big
Oh,
headline this week.
poor Bed Bath and Beyond. I do love the store. It's always been great, but that is going to be a rewards program that I'm going to mourn seeing gone. That place was dangerous for my wallet, but they were
Yeah.
so nice with the rewards and the coupons and things like that. It was always worth checking them out.
Yeah, and they had all the fun gadgets and things, the
Mhm.
quirky kind of the very specific need filling kinds of
Yeah.
things. I liked that.
That was
Um,
like the coolest place in our area to go for kitchen items for a long time. So if I wanted to check out those like very neat ninja blenders and things like that, for the longest time, that was like the only place you could find those kinds of things.
yeah, I love that. I'm sorry to see them go. Let's talk about restaurants. This is, obviously, people have their favorite restaurants, and finding ways to save at them is good. I will tell you, like, I was happy to see that on your list is Panera. But like and this is probably just, maybe an experience for any kind of program, but like when I was trying to sign up with it online, I kept having issues. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just that day. But so like I've just not, pursued it. And I think that, when we talk about choosing some of these things, choosing things that are simple and easy to use and all of that. So I was very pleased to see that they're on your list. So I guess I need to try again.
Yeah, I would say give it another try. But the good thing with some of these restaurant programs too is that you don't have to sign up online all the time. Sometimes you can actually do it in person. So you may have some luck going to your local Panera and being like, "Hey, I want to be a rewards member." And they may be able to sign you up there that way too.
Yeah. What were some of the other restaurants that you thought had good programs?
So there's I like I like restaurants that are simple,
Yeah.
and one of my favorites is Rita's Italian Ice, just because it took us forever to get one where I'm located, and those are so different from ice cream. I really love to stop by there. And the cool thing with theirs is that basically you can visit once per day to get a credit. I mean, you can go as much as you want, but you're only going to get one credit per day. But after 7 credits, you get a free treat. So we're talking a week's worth of visits. And with summer coming up and their prices aren't awful, they're pretty good. So I'm very much like, yeah, that's gonna happen. That's one of my favorites. I love all of the ice cream and like frozen yogurt places too, because they'll give you, $3 for X amount spent. But I will say, I think Cold Stone Creamery and Marble Slab Creamery both have really generous programs as well. So like you get those BOGO coupons and you earn like a good amount of points per dollar spent, and it makes it pretty easy to choose where to go when you're looking for something sweet.
That is great. Especially again, these are all great, summer things coming up. So great
Yep.
way to save money.
Clearly,
And
I have cold treats on the brain.
yeah. And I was happy to see because Corner Bakery is one of my favorites, and I didn't know that they had a program. So I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, they're one of the tiered ones that actually have a lot of fair benefits for the base tier too. And it's one
Mhm.
of those situations where you get to the next tier by like accumulating so many points. And I want to say that even catering orders with them actually qualifies, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure. But I do remember being impressed with them and being like, why don't I have one of these near me? I want to go try it.
Yeah, and here's a great one from one of our viewers right now. Tony is mentioning Kroger, great way to save on groceries and gas.
Oh, yeah. Kroger is definitely one of the better ones out there. And we do have Giant Eagle in our list, which I believe is owned by the same parent company. So you're going to see some overlap there. But Kroger is one of those that it's always been pretty great. Back in the day, yeah, you had to scan the little plastic card or you had to punch in your phone number, but they would kind of track your shopping habits and then send you coupons for the things that you bought frequently, which was really great when I was still in college and needed to save on groceries.
Mhm.
So they realized she buys ice cream around finals time, we're going to send her a coupon for ice cream. So it definitely paid off that way. And now there's an app and you can order online and you can kind of save these offers online and do a lot of the management that way. So it's way easier to do. And yeah, if you like shopping at Kroger, it's also one of my favorites.
Yeah, thanks very much for chiming in with that, Tony. Let's talk about your miscellaneous category because I saw some very common ones like CVS, but talk to me about some of the good ones that you spotted in this category.
CVS is one of those that I remember being really surprised about how generous it was when I was working at CVS.
Oh.
I was a pharmacy tech for a while.
Oh.
But the cool thing about that is it's another one where you basically sign up with your phone number or you have the card. And I don't even think they're handing out cards now, but it would track your purchases and then reward you an extra bucks. And this is where you would get like the mile-long receipts,
Yeah.
which apparently they've stopped doing. But you're still getting those kind of savings. So you get like randomly $3 rewards that you can use on pretty much anything. And it was such a great way to get like free beauty items or free snacks or anything like that. And that stuff adds up so quickly. And then you can stack them with extra like sales and things like that that are going on. So CVS is one of the best like drugstore programs I've seen in general, just because it's so easy to manage. And of course, now they do have like a paid tier so you can get extra benefits. But I mean, honestly, the free tier is still one of the standouts to me. And I'm just kind of like, I don't have to pay for it. Free tier's fine. It's good.
Yeah. I was just asked by a manager about that, and I don't shop there enough. Where I was like, well, I don't think it's worth my paying for it, but I think the free one is pretty good.
Yeah.
Were there any others in the miscellaneous category that really caught your eye?
I can't remember for sure if we pegged it in the miscellaneous category or not, but I do know that Sephora was another one that I was really impressed with. And it is one of those where you spend like $350 in a year to advance to the second tier or $1,000 in a year to advance to the highest tier. But what I love about Sephora is that their free tier is packed with benefits. So if you like beauty items or skincare or anything like that, if you like tools, like beauty tools, obviously, you're not going to find a power drill at like Sephora, but if you like those kinds of things, it's really worth signing up for, in my opinion.
Yeah, great tip. You talked in your article about what to do before you join. So what should we be doing before we join on one of these?
The best thing you can do is find their rewards page, whatever store you're looking at, and take a look at all of kind of the fine print, but not really the fine print. This is where you're going to find out, if you're earning points, if it's, going to be like 1 point per dollar, 2 points per dollar, 5 points per dollar. There are definitely some programs that tend to be more generous than others, but also don't let a higher point to dollar ratio fool you. It may be that you're earning 5 points per dollar, but if you still have to spend hundreds of dollars to get to a perk, it might not be worth it. It really depends on where you're shopping. So definitely take a look at the earning to see if that's going to be worth it. Is it free to join? That's going to be one of the biggest things. There are paid programs out there, and some of them are very much worth it, but not all of them are going to be. And it may come down to, especially if it's like a yearly fee that you have to pay, it's going to determine, whether or not this is worth it in the long run. So definitely pay attention to that. If there are any restrictions, like you can only earn purchases on or earn rewards on certain purchases, like it doesn't apply to sale or discount items for some reason or something like that, definitely pay attention to that. I would say that I think one of the best paid programs out there comes from REI, because you basically pay $30 for a lifetime membership to the co-op. And then you get a whole bunch of different perks on outdoor gear, and you earn 10% back annually on eligible purchases. So even if you're not doing as much outdoors as you would like to, that'd be me. I am still a member of the co-op because it's like, this is just such a great deal. how do you pass that up? And then you get coupons for like 20 to 25% off for members and exclusive access to sales and things like that. I mean, $30 for a lifetime membership, I was sold. So, I mean, like, there are definitely paid programs that are totally worth it. It just comes down to how much you're going to be shopping at the store, if you're going to be spending enough to make the cost worth it,
Mm-hmm.
and what the earnings and redemption is like. The worst thing is signing up for a program, whether it's free or not, and then basically finding it really hard to earn points or to redeem points and just
Mm-hmm.
feeling really restricted. Then it just kind of ends up feeling like a waste.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like what you pointed out too about maybe taking some time to look at it online, because I think when you sort of offered at the cash register, you're like, oh, great, and you're just thinking about the savings, but you need to kind of calculate, is this going to be worth it for me? And I love that your article really kind of breaks down the pros and cons and exactly how they all work. So I want to let everybody know you can see this article on DealNews.com. And then I've also just put a link on my Facebook page, Heather Sullivan Fox 26. Go to it, link it, share it. It's a great overview of a lot of different programs out there that can really help you save money. So Julie, thank you so much for being with us. This was a really fun conversation. And I'm so glad to hear that these programs, I think, are being more responsive to consumers to be a little easier to use and help us to
Definitely.
save. Yeah.
Thank you for having me. And I would love to encourage all the viewers to go and leave their favorite programs in the comments on that article, just because we're all the time looking to add to it. I know we missed some. 58 is not going to be the end all be all comprehensive list. It's a good place to start, but I know we can add more. So if anybody has anything they want to add, feel free to drop it in a comment there.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. And again, that site is dealnews.com. And Julie Ramhold, thanks so much for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And thank you for being with us as well. We will see you next time here on Sullivan Smart Sense. Let me know a topic that you'd like us to dive into, ways we can help you save some money, and we'll see you next time.